way beyond the call of duty.
People find time to change and affect our communities.
In ways that only a superhero would. They are heroes to us. No phone booth, no cane, no superpower. Just your everyday humans living amongst us. Indeed, they are our 8 to 5 heroes.
8 to 5. 8 to 5 heroes.
Time changes things, but you actually have to change them yourself. A diamond is nothing but a stone until somebody discovers it. I can spend a full day quoting different authors and writers who spoke about equality, just to try and ensure that we really need to do something, take part in changing our society, changing the community that we live in. Unica is a brainchild of 2 Victoria Falls locals and a friend from Denmark. They give opportunities to underprivileged communities, and here I talk to them mainly about their ECD, Early Child Development Program, and what they're doing, why it's very important to concentrate on ECDs, and to get to know them better.
The Childhood Development Project is actually funded by Roger Federer Foundation from Switzerland, and this is actually one of our biggest projects in Hwange district, and we are basically, this is where we are actually renovating and constructing early childhood development centers, and we are also training through Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education. We are also training paraprofessionals, what we call paraprofessionals, teachers that are not academically trained to work with children. So they are being trained through Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education through this project funded by the Roger Federer Foundation. And we are also trying.
We had a major ECD program that we are running. So we partnered with Child Protection Society in May 2014 to launch a newly early childhood development project, which is supported by the Roger Federer Foundation. And this project is catering for 4,500 children in Hwange district. So far we have worked with 7 centers, and we are looking forward to work with 23 more centers, because we are covering 30 centers in this program, and it's looking at children from 4 to 6 years. And also we are training the teachers, the ECD management committees, and the community as well for the project up to 2017. And we have some other projects for the construction of the Sizinda Child Center, like Elizabeth Foundation, which is also supporting the Women and Child Center in Sizinda, and some other donors who are potentially funding the construction of Sizinda.
You know, in development, you cannot have one person facilitating development. It has to be a number of people coming together to facilitate development. And also in that same area that you are going to bring development, there has to be some certain level of acceptance of the development that you are bringing within them. They give a man fish and they will eat one day, they are done. But teach them how to fish, and they will fish and feed themselves and their families forever. Communities are involved in the construction of these buildings. They are also involved in the development or in the construction of outdoor play equipment or indoor play equipment, so that even at the time when we are gone, they are able to maintain these resources that we would have left for them. We also then give small grants for income generating projects, so that and we train them on business management, so that at least they can be able to generate income that will sustain them even when we have left the community. So I would say for development to be brought or to be realized, you need to identify partners. So as United Children of Africa, we have identified funding partners that are working with us in different projects that we are implementing. We've also identified the line ministries of our focuses and organizations. You notice the likes of Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education, it's one of our partners. We're also working with the Ministry of Health and Child Welfare,
There are also a number of local governments and another ministry that we are also working with. These line ministries also are assisting us even in terms of developing the ideal development initiatives to bring to the communities, because this is the government that we are trying to complement here. So I would say if you want to bring development, it should be complemented by other different partners.
As unica, we have taken a stance where we are saying we don't want to be existent in certain communities forever. But what we want to do is to ensure that those communities, we give them skills and resources that will result in them being able to sustain themselves and execute activities that will help them without our interference or our involvement. Basically doing is we take into greater importance issues to do with capacity building for the communities. We also ensure that, particularly like for instance, education related projects. Currently we are constructing and renovating early childhood development classes in schools. And what we're basically doing there, when we actually renovate, we build whatever we have done there, we also ensure that we don't want to come up with handouts and just going into a community, we feed them, we live. We know challenges will always be there, just like in any other community. So basically we try and ensure that we've got a very sustainable way of managing our projects. So you realize the reason why we use wood is because we know if this thing breaks, they can easily get wood around. With or without unica, they will still be able to make this outdoor play equipment. But these are like gum poles, so they are harvested from a commercial farm. Yeah, and Rural District Council can easily donate these again for sustainability purposes.
With the inspiration from my parents, I would say I wanted to exactly follow the footprints of my father, being a chef.
I was doing food and beverage studies. I was now working as well for one of the hotels here in town. And I decided I wanted to move from the hotel sector into where I thought maybe I had passion, which was now the community development sector. And that's where I joined and I had to study from there.
But then with the field that I've ventured into right now, it's a situation where you are seeking to assist someone from their inner part. This is like their psychosocial being, and then you bring a certain level of satisfaction within them. So I would say I wanted to be a chef, but well, it didn't work out to that way as I developed as a young person.
We do have the Child and Youth Center in Vic Falls and in the Sizinda community area, whereby we have the centers where children will come and play. In those centers we do have library, a section of library. We do have outdoor and indoor play equipment for children under the age of 5. We also have football equipment and other sporting equipment. But the main thing is the calling, passion, and the energy to do it.
Yeah. So for Sizinda, we are safe because we've done that before, and a lot of community members can testify that we've done income generating projects and they are helpful within the community.
Yes, we know that HIV and AIDS is everywhere and we target young people. And we also we are planning to give them lessons on how it is spread and how to prevent them. Also raise awareness on medical male circumcision, and there's a new method which has been introduced, like pre-pigs, which is more better than the other one, which is surgical in terms of food management. And it's being done here in Vic Falls Hospital, so we create demand for young people to go and access those services to prevent them from getting HIV. Though if you are circumcised, we still encourage them to delay sexual activities or to use condoms as well.
I am part of something that is so big, totally appreciate it. We find that our grades vary from average to super intelligent kids. Basically that's A students. we do have youths of different ages, and at the same time we're saying we're working with children. So you'd find that youths usually don't enjoy being told what to do. I just want to thank the government of Zimbabwe allowing an organization like the United Children of Africa establishing life transforming projects within the community. Because from last year, from the candidates that we had, lives have been transformed. And we know that when you're able to reach one person, that is to transform the life of one individual, you'd find that the whole town has been actually changed. From the whole town, it goes viral and the whole nation becomes transformed. And when we know that Zimbabwe has been transformed as a nation, we know that the future of Africa has been made brighter. And with Africa raising future, intelligent and equipped students, we now know that Africa and the whole world is now at a beta stage. So I just want to thank Unica for what it's doing.
If I was a superhero and I had all the powers I needed to do anything, I would probably save this world from all this misery that
When I will leave the community and know we've constructed that nice building for the community in terms of the children's education, we have empowered this community, we have given them resources to be able to sustain themselves. There's a sense of, satisfaction than my previous job or experiences where I was just involved. I was a waiter, by the way, and it was just an issue of serving a drink, and it ends there. You are just trying to impress someone who's on holiday, but it's just one person and it ends there. But here you go into a community, you put smiles, and in maybe 500, like the ECD project, we are targeting 4,500 children in 3 years, and we're saying 4,500 children would have been assisted in this project, and that just gives us a sense of satisfaction and to say, well, we have done well.
Young people in the society can make a change, but there is a lot that they can do. They could keep themselves occupied in forming groups that will take them out of the streets with the help of Unica and other organizations in the town. People must think outside the box and do things for themselves. Go into groups, come probably into my office and ask for help as a group. We can identify people that can help them, involving them into groups like Unica where they can be seen reading their books, furthering their education,